welcome to another Poor Choices Dadcast. And no, it's been a long time since we've been here, but we have a very, very special guest here. Not Brahmabull, but it's sorry.
Brahmabull.
Brahmabull. Yeah, which I actually didn't know you were a dad, so this was a pleasant surprise for me.
Yeah, I actually have two daughters. One's 21 and one's 15.
Oh.
So I've got the grown-up kids.
That's, you know what? It's nice with the girls because once they're grown up, it's easier.
Is it? Mm.
I was
Oh, no! Okay, I think
you have to worry a lot more with girls.
Okay, let's start with that. How do you worry and how do you healthily worry over your girls? And what things do you have to worry about for these girls?
Guys.
We can start with that.
Guys.
Obviously. No, it's just you try to instill in your kids certain values, that kind of stuff, and hope that those values stick once they get on their own. Today's day and age, you know, kids want to get away from you when they can at 18, but at the same time, they can't afford to do anything right now. So with girls, well, at this point, it's been pretty much, I'll latch onto a guy and, you know, just have them help me pay for my rent and all that kind of stuff. But not a big fan of the cohabitating. So, yeah, there's some pressures there.
This is, I hope, the older one, not the 15-year-old, right?
The other one's in high school, and yeah, she's a freshman. So don't have to worry about her as much. But she's starting to spread her wings too, I guess.
I know that's like the hardest part with any kid growing up when they're like trying to dip their toes in the adult world, that you know, they're gonna have mistakes, issues and whatnot. And yeah, I think that the idea of cohabitating, I mean, I didn't live with a guy until I was engaged. So
right.
That was the first time. And yeah, that felt like a big step. So even at the young age of 25, probably even earlier, that seems insane to me.
Well, and it's a difference in times. I mean, it's completely insane to me. But of course, I grew up very conservative, very Christian. My wife is the only person I've ever slept with. We've been married almost 21 years in May.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, I did things a lot differently than most people do. I did it very old-fashioned way. So
I like
it's hard to instill those values though in today's day and age, because no matter what you try, everything is pressure from society. So
constantly cleaning your gun.
Oh my God, my dad tried that with one of the guys in high school, and this guy, he comes to pick me up for Sadie's, and my dad was like, "Oh, I'm gonna have my." He tried that, and this guy walks in without missing a beat. Is like, "Oh, we have two of these at my house. This is the blah blah," and rattles off whatever the heck gun it was, and he was not phased at all. I was like, "Nice try, Dad. A for effort. Swing and a miss."
Yeah. Well, the oldest is dating a army guy right now, so yeah, he comes over and wants to see my AR and all that kind of stuff, see what I've done to it, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it wouldn't work on him either.
So do we like the guy? Well, how long have they been dating? We'll start with that.
I think it's about 6-7 months now.
Okay.
Something like that.
Already living together?
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I don't get it. But I mean, she'll be furious if I talk too much on it, but yeah, I mean, it was pretty sudden because she went from one boyfriend to the next and realized I can't afford to live on my own in an apartment. Mom and Dad were right. So then she just found somebody else. So yeah, he seems like a nice enough guy, but that's not the right way to get on my good side.
I was going to say, this is like a huge red flag and something I might not have said on this channel, but don't move in with a person just because you can't afford to live by yourself.
Yeah. Especially when you still had your room at your parents' house, you're still living in the same city. She just did not want to abide by living under our rules. So,
Oh my
but
goodness.
I
Ooh.
wasn't going to give in on most of the rules because, I mean, yeah, you get some freedom once you turn 18. You can stay out till whenever you want. There's no curfew, whatever. But you're not bringing anybody over to the house overnight or anything like that. So
That's fair.
I guess that was too strict. I don't
Goodness
know.
gracious.
I
We
just
girls, we
it's
get that way. We get finicky that way.
Yeah.
I don't want any rules. I'm an independent woman.
Yeah, I'm 18. I can do whatever I want. Yeah, you can't
Yeah,
live on your
pay
own apparently
pay
because
for
you
your own
can't afford it.
accommodations. And that's the thing, like when she's we can go red pill on this a little bit, where when you're that young and you're, you've got a lot of options and you're just working through your options, and using people. Well, I don't know if she's specifically using people, but additionally using a person, not just for, an emotional relationship, that there's a financial aspect to it. I don't know. I find that dicey, and I don't want to depend on someone like that too easily
Yeah.
in the beginning.
Well, I mean, yeah, the whole situation is, I mean, do you not break up with somebody even though it doesn't work out because you can't afford to break up with them? I mean,
And that's
as the
the
guy,
trap.
you typically don't have that issue. The girl, maybe. I don't know. I mean, yes, I mean, the pay wages are pretty much the same at that age. I mean, she's in college, he's in the army, so he's actually making a paycheck. So yes, she's dependent upon him. She,
Mhm.
can't find anything other than, fast food, that kind of stuff, serving.
Gosh.
So
Well,
yeah, it's an
that is a
interesting
tough
one.
thing to work through. It really is for
Mhm.
yourself. And I mean, obviously you're not comfortable with the situation, but how do you show your emotions to your daughter, and is that working? Is it not? Like, do you express this uncomfortability to her?
Oh, she knows what I told her when it became very obvious that she was doing things. Don't do anything with anybody you're not willing to have a kid with, was my advice.
Mhm.
So
Mm.
we had that talk. We've had multiple talks. I mean, she always has a place to come back here. So, I mean, it's not like there's a bad relationship there or anything. It's just I don't necessarily agree with some of the actions she's taken since she became an adult. So,
Hey, I'm quite sure all parents go through the same. Hopefully that is the extent that you'll have to go through with her,
yeah.
and hopefully it all just
Mhm.
works out for her.
Well, I mean, every time you give your kid advice, they're not going to take it. They've got to go live it out and feel what it's like to have whatever happened before that you're giving them the advice on. You've already lived through it. You already know what that path can take you down. They've got to experience it for themselves. They can't just take your word. So
Nope.
I think it's a healthy thing on your part to be able to realize that and accept it. It's something that my mom, she did the same thing. It's hard to not
yeah,
say anything when she after almost every relationship that obviously failed. She's like, "Yeah, I knew it wouldn't work." I'm like, "What?" She's
why
like, "You're
didn't you
not
say
gonna
so?
listen
I
to
did.
me." So, oh my goodness. So that
Well,
must have been very interesting.
yeah. Well, I mean, the thing with the oldest one is, I mean, like you guys know me a little bit. I'm pretty conservative, pretty right wing. So the thing that's disappointing to me is that the conservative principles kind of got into her head, but the Christian principles didn't as much. I would rather it have been flipped.
Ah.
I can
But
see that.
yes, she's very much on the right track, as far as I'm concerned, politically and the way she thinks about things. But I would have preferred a little bit more of the godly choices being having been instilled a little bit more. So
I would agree with that because that's something that you can never take back, I guess, in terms of if you've done any like sitting, if you want to go with that route. It's
right,
it's just you can't turn back time. With
Yeah.
politics, you can. dependent on what you ended up doing. Don't throw paint on or don't throw stuff on paintings, that's criminal, but
Don't be a criminal about it.
but you can do protests, you can do all that stuff that can eventually not affect you later in life. So we have something here. Jason Webster for 5 Australia says hi to the vivacious X-ray girl and the gregarious Tugs and the distinguished guests. Brahmabull.
Ooh, Jason's got like the best dictionary.
I know. Yeah, another great episode of Poor Choices underway. Thank you very much, Jason.
Thanks, Jason.
It is very underway. And GJJ, thank you for the member for 6 months. And same with you, Ken. Has become a lush. Which, by the way, do you drink wine?
Do I drink wine?
Yeah.
I have in the past. I'm pretty much bourbon at this point.
I was going to say,
the last time I saw you is bourbons.
Yeah, I've got a touch of bourbon.
Just a touch.
But I do have 2 wine bottles there, too. The 2 Colorado Avalanche wine bottles.
Oh,
they're just never going to be opened.
Oh, beautiful. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
I would not open those either. I opened the nice ones. But...
Oh, look at
Oh, my God. Is that a Trump?
Yeah,
wait. Let me just... That is beautiful. Oh
yeah,
my God.
that's
my God.
You know what it actually is a pressure cooker release thing. So when you start releasing the steam, he's blowing hot air.
Wow.
I thought it was hilarious.
One.
So
I want one.
Does he make a noise? Is he like, oh, I want one.
No, it's just all the steam from the pressure cooker just shoots out of the mouth if you've got him on top of the little knob
that
up
is
there.
Cool.
So,
Tugs made me, well, not made me. She has one of these, and I cannot for the life of me get used to doing the thing.
An aerator?
Yes. It's like an air wine cork pop thing. So you stick it, you see a little pin there into the wine bottle, and it like sits on top, and then you like push air in, and it's supposed to pop the wine cork out. But it takes so much effort that I'd rather just use this thing.
The last time she did it on camera, the cork like shot her face.
Yeah.
It like, are you pushing it all the way down
there? Huh?
You push it all the way down, right?
Yeah, I did. I just don't think it's as good as maybe yours.
No, I mean the clear. The clear.
Oh yeah, it goes all the way into the bottle so that the bottle's here. And so the last time I did it, I gave up. I sat there, I turned the camera off, and the cork shot up into the air. You could hear it.
Like champagne.
And I wish our camera was on, but I was so tired from pushing the air in. Oh gosh.
Oh,
anyways,
you should gotta pay extra for that.
Yeah. So next time, guys, I'll totally leave the camera on for y'all. But I like that you like the bourbon.
Oh yeah, that was my COVID thing when we started getting the checks. It was like, well, what can I do with these? And I bought the camera, the mic, and everything, and figured I would start doing something online since we couldn't be social anymore. And like, I'm very type A. My job is sales, so I talk to everybody. So I needed an outlet to be able to talk to people, and that's how I found the YouTube stuff.
I love it. I love it. Let me just finish these off, and then we'll get back to chatting. Ken Burrows has gifted 5 Poor Choices memberships. Thank you so much, Ken. And Psychotic Mongoose has done the same. Did you gift one to yourself, Psychotic, this time? He tends to do that, gift himself memberships. Thank you for the 5 gifted memberships, Psychotic. And Cajun with a 5 says, next time I meet Brahmabull in person, gonna have to exchange tips on how to keep up our hair.
Use conditioner as shaving cream.
Oh, actually?
Yeah. It's the best shaving cream you can do for your head.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Although it does clog up the razor pretty quick.
I mean, I haven't shaved since I was like a teenager, so I don't know what that's like. It seems scary.
You haven't shaved what?
My legs.
Oh, okay.
And my
Since
underarm.
you were a teenager?
Yeah, wax.
Oh, okay. I was like,
I mean,
lose all your
as
hair?
an Asian, you're not hairy anyways, but I remember shaving my underarms and like how itchy it was. I was just like, why do people do this to themselves?
Oh,
That
it's the
doesn't happen with your
best.
head, does it? Get a little
No.
itchy.
no.
But
Heads
conditioner
mine
is good
doesn't get
for
that.
your,
Whatever my wife's got, which
Oh,
pisses her off because
because
she
she's got the
buys
good
expensive
stuff.
crap, and I'm just like,
Oh,
yeah. Complete waste of conditioner, but and yeah, it definitely works better than shaving cream.
Hey,
So.
the expensive stuff might give you a closer shave, so
Yeah.
just saying.
I put on a fresh shave today for the show, so
We are blessed.
yeah, reflective.
so blessed. It's so shiny.
So shiny. I feel like if I touched it, it'll just feel soft because of the conditioner.
Oh yeah,
I have this like weird
smooth now.
thing. Sorry. It sounds so weird to say out loud. I like to touch bald heads because they feel so different. Like the skin. What? And I actually like because I like semi cut hair. Like my dad's head, I would always like it must be an Asian hair thing. Like you would just run your hand across it when I was a kid. And I was just like, he just feels so weird. Anyways, so I have weird tendencies. Sorry, guys. Anyways.
I don't think you've reached out for my head any of the times that we've met.
No, because that would be weird. I'm not going to do that at meetups. Only
should
do
do
it to
that
like
at
my
meetups.
close friends.
Do it.
Well, next time we meet in person, I'll ask to pet your
I'll
bald
be in
head.
Vegas and Dallas this year. So.
Yes, nice. I'm so
Yay!
excited. Hopefully I can make it to Dallas. I'm so excited for Vegas.
Yeah, we're still trying to get Dallas put together, but
and are you guys gonna do the same thing as you guys did last time?
no, because apparently that was the best day in the history of that bar, but then they closed down like 4 months
No,
later.
I meant when you like hang out, like are you guys gonna do the same thing with the Airbnb and all the guys?
Maybe. I mean, the guys probably will. My parents live in Fort Worth, so they live like 30 minutes away, so I do it as kind of a go hang out with the parents and then drive into town for all the meetups too. So we'll see,
Very
because
cool.
I missed out on a lot not staying with the guys.
Honestly, you do.
Yeah.
It sucks. But
If I
at
go
least
by myself, I'll stay with the guys. If the family comes with me, then I don't really have that option.
no, I totally get that. For freaking sure. Now, I want to get to you and your wife meeting each other, and because it sounds like you guys had a very maybe like I like to call it a thorough meeting process where you get to know your values, et cetera, et cetera. Not many people do that these days as quickly, I guess. Maybe, but we'll see. How did you meet your wife?
So in college, I managed Papa John's restaurants. That was how I made money to put myself through college. And I was transferred to a new store, and she happened to be one of the drivers, delivery drivers. She also had a job at a bank during the day. So
Hustler.
yeah, so we met probably on my third or fourth shift there. I got her number. We started dating like a week later, and then I had to fire her like 2 weeks after that because I was her manager.
Oh my God! What?
So, it wasn't a big deal. She only pulled like 2 shifts a week, at
You're like, I'm firing you
Papa
as my
John's.
employee, but I'm promoting you as my wife.
Yeah.
Wait,
So-
why did she get let go? Is that work
Management
related
couldn't
or
date
just
drivers. Yeah,
oh
because I was her
okay.
superior, I couldn't date her, so she could either be transferred to a different store, or I say I fired her. She actually quit, but it's more
So
fun
you
to say that
you
I
got
fired her.
HR'd. Your relationship got human resources.
We took steps before HR could find out or get involved.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Wait,
And
how
it
many
was
days
just like-
was it before you had to figure that out?
It was a few weeks, maybe a month later.
Wow. Okay.
So,
And you
and
already
then we
like
dated. That was September or October that we started dating, and then we were married in May. So no, it wasn't a super long dating thing. And she's a few years older than me, so I was just turning 21, So I hadn't even done the bar scene or anything at that point. And she was, what, 25? So, yeah.
Were you interested in the bar scene at all?
Not really. No, I hate clubs. The bar scene would have been fine. But like clubbing, no. But
I find a lot of dudes don't like clubbing though, so.
No, I mean, not my style of music and not my style of people most of the time. So I was never really interested in that. I mean, where I did my drinking and stuff after I turned 21 was I was in bowling leagues and stuff. I mean, hanging out with the guys and just having pitchers of beer there. So bowling and darts and billiards, that kind of stuff.
Oh, I love that. I love that. These are very sociable sports? Games? We'll go with games.
Yeah. Hobbies, sports.
Although it could be a sport. I watch darts. Darts is like a intense league.
It's big in the UK.
Yes. Bowling not as big as it used to be, but that is so how did you know you were super serious about her? Because obviously having to figure out someone's job in that workplace, you had to have like made some sort of solidification of the relationship.
Well, I don't know how it actually came about. I mean, we just kind of were constantly talking, the typical thing you do when you're dating somebody. You're constantly talking, going everywhere together, hanging out all the time. But, again, growing up Christian, I mean, my values were what my values were. Hers weren't quite the same. I mean, she's Christian, but wasn't quite as Christian. So, I mean, if you are going to try to do it right, I mean, the first time you're going to be able to do it is once you're married. So, yeah, that's kind of an impetus for marriage. I mean, we loved each other. We got engaged, and actually we just went to Vegas and got married, just on a road trip.
Ooh, which place did you get married? Any theme?
I don't even know. No, there was no theme. It was just the cheapest one that we could find.
Oh, okay,
so,
okay.
Yeah, and then honeymoon baby. So.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. So yeah, it's.
I was just thinking about that. That makes sense now because you said the ages of your. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, it didn't. Nothing worked out quite the way we were thinking it would because I'm 42 and I've got a 21-year-old. So while all of my friends are now having kids, all my friends from high school and college, they're just now having kids or they've got very little kids. Mine are grown up, so they all had their 20s to, go hang out, do whatever they wanted. And I'm going to be, completely empty nester, in 4 or 5 years, likely. So by like 45, 46, I'll be an empty nester. And that's when I get to start having fun, as long as those two don't screw up too much and make me a grandfather.
I was gonna say because so there sometimes that happens with the grandfather, or sometimes they need a place to go home. But you don't have to always be there.
Right, it's a little bit different situation.
It's a little bit different. You don't have to, I guess, babysit them, adult sit them.
Yeah.
Although, I stayed in my parents' house until like 29, 30 years old. And so I really stuck to so you stay at home until you really know for sure you want to be with someone. And let's just say it was very picky, apparently, allegedly.
And I guess I should amend a little bit of what I said before anybody does the math. Yeah, when we got engaged and we had decided we were going to elope, she's a honeymoon baby in a way. She was about a week and a half to 2 weeks before the actual honeymoon. So I did start a little bit before the actual piece of paper, but we were already, basically engaged. Married in our minds. So married before God, not necessarily before the state.
Yeah.
That's one of the weird things is like I think the engagement period is so odd because it's like I kind of view it as if you say you're going to marry this person, you are basically, no, in your mind, married because you're committing
Right.
by saying, I am planning a wedding with you. So I always thought that was a little weird period. I also don't like the word fiance.
Oh yeah.
Don't know why. I don't like
Too
using it.
French.
I'd
It's
rather
like the word moist.
maybe not as bad as moist because I know a lot of people hate moist, but yeah, fiance was always a weird word. Be like, yeah, my boyfriend, that sounds cute. My husband's cute. Fiance, it's just ooh. I also just didn't like that bridezilla look. I met a lot of bridezillas out there.
Yeah,
And
luckily mine really didn't care about the whole wedding thing. I mean, going to Vegas was fine. We did like a ceremony in the backyard, in July, I think, just with friends and family there. So
that's really,
I mean,
I love that.
I would suggest that
I
for
love that.
anybody who can find a girl who is fine with that, because there is
Heck
no
yeah.
reason to strap yourself with that much debt right as you're starting out.
No, absolutely
Right?
not.
When you hear those girls that are like, I require like a 10K ring, 1 carat, blah, 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 blah. You're thinking, don't you want to save that money for your house?
Yeah.
Or your
Yeah,
wedding?
that was my
As
first
everything for the
thought. I mean,
wedding.
I think it's a younger thing too. When you're younger, for most girls anyway, like you want to be the princess and you want to have the fairy tale thing, blah, blah, blah. And then as you get older, you're like, or I could buy a house and maybe a cow.
Maybe I could buy a couch for that house too.
Yeah. Like our
Couches
honeymoon,
are
instead of our
expensive.
honeymoon being cheap, then we could spend that money on our honeymoon and travel the world for a year or whatever. Like there's so many more practical things you can do. Not that I'm
Yeah.
hating on anybody that has those elaborate weddings, because hey, you do you, and if you can afford it, kudos. But
just make sure you can afford it.
I just look at it the same way I look at college. I mean, unless you absolutely have to go to college, there's no reason to put yourself in that debt.
Did you like see college like that when you were younger too? Or is
No,
this like
because
a
that
more
was
recent
what
thing?
25 years ago. So back then, I mean, it was kind of everybody went to college. There wasn't near as much indoctrination going on into colleges then. I mean, I'm a history major with a political science minor. I'm not doing anything with either of those degrees. So, yeah, it was a complete waste. But at the same time, to do the job that I am doing, you had to be a college graduate. You had to jump through the hoop of going to college. I think we're going to start seeing people getting away from that, or companies getting away from that, because, I mean, there's so many companies that desperately need employees right now. You gotta stop saying you have to be college educated to get this job, that kind of thing. So
that was like one of the hardest parts for me when I was in school. Like I graduated 08 from high school, and they were going to the next step because there were so many university degree graduates. So they're like, you need a master's now, you need this, you need that, especially in the science division. And I was really interested in nutritional sciences, but I'm like, I don't want to do research. F that. And glad I never went.
I think for some degrees and some professions, like obviously you need that experience, right? You don't want to be a doctor that's like just straight out of high school. Like, let me just cut you open real quick. But for like other jobs, like I remember in college, I had a hard time getting a job anywhere that wasn't like a fast food place, which is fine because they wanted you to have experience. You need experience, but you can only get the experience if you had like a bachelor degree at the same time. It was just so ridiculous.
Yep.
Like,
I mean, and yeah, that's what I'm saying is if you're going for something specialized like doctor or engineer or chemist, that kind of stuff, where you kind of have to go to college, you go to college. If you're going for the arts, no, it's
don't
not
do
worth it.
it.
Yeah.
I mean, there is no reason to get a degree in
Get
the
on
arts.
TikTok.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Or do community college or do trade school. I mean, community college, if you get the associates and you've got the basics, usually you can do whatever you want with that, except for those specialized jobs. But trade school, I mean, hard with girls. I mean, yeah.
I think they're gonna be like the South Park Pandaverse episode where the the plumbers and the electricians of the world were the rich people. I do think they're actually going to be the rich people of the world because someone like me, I don't know how to put up a freaking curtain rod. I proved that to
You would watch
myself.
Lee's video, you would.
Yeah. Anyways, I clearly didn't find the stud thingy. So let's just say the curtain rod didn't stay up long, but the little things like handiwork, people don't know how to do things like that. Although TikTok is helping a little bit. Same thing with YouTube videos, DIYs.
TikTok is teaching me that I'm breathing wrong. It's wild. Some of the stuff these people come up with, I'm like, oh my God, I had no idea that was supposed to look that way.
Some BS, some maybe to a lot of BS on there. At least TikTok.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Breathe correctly? Seriously?
I'm being sarcastic, not really.
Oh, okay.
But,
I don't know.
I mean,
I would believe it.
But it's like
You're
little
right.
things like, okay, popcorn bags. Okay. You pop a bag of popcorn, right? And the bag at the top, vents open just a little on every single popcorn bag. Did you know that you were supposed to turn that bag upside down before opening it all the way and shake it, and all the kernels that did not pop fall out, and then you don't have any kernels in your popcorn? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I'm 37 years old, or almost 37 years old. Oh, duh. Stupid. It's not just
I like
a vent.
eating the kernels.
You like eating the kernels?
Yeah.
The unpopped kernels?
The ones that didn't pop? Really? The burnt
Weird.
ones are good. I like the burnt kernels. Those are good.
Anyways,
Anyway, we're
Brahmabull, you're about to say something as well.
Oh, I was just going to say on this, we talk about it on Comics Channel all the time about we're losing institutional knowledge. So,
What do you
the
mean
trades
by
are
institutional knowledge?
well, the trades are becoming important because people don't know how to just work on anything anymore. I mean, it used to be growing up, you were taught how to change the oil in your car, you were taught how to do certain things to get by in life. And I mean, people are online so much, and so much is automated now that if the computers were to go down or something were to happen, most people can't take care of themselves because they don't understand even the basics of how to do things. And you can't look up a YouTube video if you don't have the internet.
Yeah. How to
mean,
make a fire? You know how many people would actually not be able to? Well, look at, unfortunately, of course, when Texas had the first snowstorm. The deep freeze. Well, it wasn't really a snowstorm, but yeah. And people were having barbecues indoors.
Yeah.
Like that, for example, is just showing how people aren't using their heads. And just because we literally have so many warning signs on everything. Don't do this, don't do that, don't do that. And then you just eventually forget little things.
I mean,
like
honestly, it takes the fun out of life. Let them weed themselves out. Okay.
The warning signs.
Yeah. Where's the fun? Like who was the guy, whoever the person was on the hair dryer or the curling iron that's like, do not sleep with this curling iron while it's on? Like, I would literally pay to go back in time and be like, who was the idiot that did this? Because I would love to know.
Well, that's why, because they got sued because there's no warning for that. So people took advantage, and now that they have warning signs for that, or
you know that person was like, I'm cold, I'm gonna sleep with my curling iron. Like, settle down.
Lack of common sense.
Oh, wow. Sorry. Hi, Nick. By the way, 32 flavors of Nick. With the 2 says, best way to stay classy, drink more bull's milk.
Oh, well. However you can get your raw milk, Nick, you do it. Okay?
Nick, do you collect your own bull's milk?
No, that joke goes back to when I first went on Comics' show. You know, the line in Kingpin where Woody Harrelson goes in and he goes, I took the liberty of milking your cow. And the guy goes, we don't have a cow. We have a bull.
Oh!
So bull's milk.
Oh, you didn't know. Oh, she's just not realizing.
Males are bulls.
Yeah.
Oh, God. I was thinking. Oh, God.
I mean, Tom's got whole commercials made around Brahma's bull's milk. And yeah, it's a whole thing over in the Dick's division.
Now. Oh, my God.
I'm surprised when you were on, you didn't catch that.
No, totally didn't.
I had to
Oh, there's a bull in his name. It's whatever.
I had to explain to her how they get the juice from the horses, like prize horses, and sell it. Like in the big tube that they use. I had to when we very first started this channel. I was watching Yellowstone, and they used it on one of the 4/6 horses, and she was like, "Wait, it's a what?" And I was like, "Well, some of these horses are such high breeds that they use this tool." And it traumatized her for life. I think we were like 3 episodes into the show at that point.
Yes. It's just like things I didn't know, but like would have been maybe curious to know, and I just don't want to know now, but it's there. Deep.
So Nick probably uses that same. Where I was going with that was Nick probably uses that same to get the Brahmabull milk.
Mm-hmm. And where did your name come from then?
High school, I was really into wrestling, and the Rock's nickname back then was Brahmabull. So my original gamer tag when everything went online was Brahmabull. So I've just always kept it.
Wait,
Yeah,
do you still game?
Oh yeah, I game on my channel. Tonight after this, we do Party Animals every Tuesday night.
Ooh! Oh, I love Party Animals. Such a fun
time. You
time.
guys should join sometime on a Tuesday night.
Oh, that would be so fun.
That would be fun. Okay, we got a couple super chats before we continue. Smooth DJ has been a member for 3 months, says evening ladies and Brahma. Here's to a good show.
Hey,
Smooth. Thank you so much for being here. Jason Webster for 5 Australia says, remember coming across this t-shirt which read, it's not a bald spot, it's a solar panel for a sex machine. Love it. Do you have that shirt, Brahmabull?
I don't. I should. That one's pretty good.
That's excellent. I'm gonna have to show that one to Duke.
Amaze balls. Oh God. Mark used to shave his head once upon a time, so maybe when he has to do that, I'll get a shirt for him that says that.
He's got to take it all the way down. Pick it.
Well, he did when he was younger. He just because of school and the army and whatnot. It's so weird to see him without the hair because I only met him with the hair. It's the same thing with beard hairs. Oh wow.
It's not Nick, a robe, Nick. You've seen it in person. It's a jacket.
Nick is just outing you.
Nick is saying that you're a sex machine with that robe.
Actually, X-Ray's seen the smoking jacket live in person too. In
yes,
Dallas.
I have. I have. It looked way too warm. You were.
It was way too freaking hot. It was 100 degrees in Dallas, and I'm wearing a full, jeans and a full jacket. I was sweating all over the place.
Well, the good thing is the jacket's thick enough where if you sweat, it won't permeate through the jacket. Right. It's just, once you take it off, you're going to be very moist.
Yes. A little bit ripe.
A little bit. I don't know. Hopefully not too ripe. Oh gosh.
No, the problem with being bald is you've got no hair to soak up the sweat on your head. So.
Oh, did you carry a towel? Little dabber?
Yeah, we had some paper towels over in our little stall where we were signing because I was burning up.
Yeah. I used to salsa dance and all the guys would carry little towels in their back pocket to
handkerchiefs were
sweat rags, rags. They're useful sometimes. Jason Webster with 2 Australian says, my sister married her boss. What?
Oh, now, listen, that is best place to find people.
Did you date did they date while they were working together? Or did, she eventually get hired as the girlfriend to work there? Which also brings a lot of issues as well, depending on how good of an employee or manager or whatever position people are in.
Yeah, nepotism questions.
Yeah. Yeah. So did she earn the job is the main one I always hear about. At least when the boyfriend is.
That sounds so dirty. Did she earn it?
Did she earn it or did she earn it?
Did she earn that promotion?
But right though, like if you saw the hot young thing with the older like boss, he's like a 50-year-old and she's working there, and you're like, how are you a manager? That makes no
Part of
sense.
the uniform knee pads.
Oh my god. Yes.
Oh my god.
Oh gosh. Shield Wall of Dragons, thank you for the $10. This question: I have an issue with my April Vegas meetup RSVP. Does anyone know the best way to contact the point of contact to fix it? The original link doesn't help. I would email Gary@nerdrotic.com for any issues with the RSVP, and hopefully whatever your issue is does get fixed. I'm sorry you had to super chat that. I apologize. But hopefully it gets fixed and then we see you there because that'd be fun. And Jason Webster with 5 Australian says, I'm a graduate of 1 public university and 2 private colleges. Education really is a lifelong pursuit. That sounds like, assuming it's 4 years each.
That's a lot of school.
12. That's a lot of school. 12 years. Wow.
It's as much as Van Wilder.
Did he actually go to school? I don't know.
Van Wilder? You've never seen Van Wilder?
No, she doesn't watch it.
It was the breakout Ryan Reynolds movie.
Yeah, that's what made him famous.
Probably should watch it. I don't know.
Oh, it's great.
I'm in the middle of Dune right now, so.
How can you be in the middle of Dune?
Okay, let's just say I started the movie at 8 o'clock, I think, last night, and I fell asleep at around 9:30.
Which one? The old Lynch one?
No,
part 1 of the new
one, because I wanted to watch the new one before watching that. I probably won't watch the old one until after I watch part 2, just in case. I don't want to spoil things, you know?
Yeah.
But I really want to watch all of it tonight. The rest of it is just so good. Cinematic masterpiece is what I told Tugs. I'm like, it's just so pleasurable for my eyes and ears.
pleasure.
Yeah, we talked about it last night on Comic Show. I'm a big book reader on Dune, so I like the movies, but yeah, for book readers they weren't exactly what we were hoping for. But the movies are good.
I
would
very good.
Definitely say see the movies, but the book readers aren't going to be as thrilled as non-book readers.
I think the books are, for the most part, always better than the movie. Except for the only one was the Rambo movie, where of course the ending was changed, and so the movie was better than the book. But other than that, I've never heard of another like the movie is definitely better than the books.
Maybe 2 others. They're both Stephen King, The Shining and The Mist. Most people would say that the Mist movie ending is much better than what the book was, and most people like the Shining movie better than they like the book.
Really?
Because they're very different.
Shining ending, very different.
I mean, it's the same story, but they make some different choices.
What was the ending of the original Mist book? Sorry, we're on a tangent. Sorry, chat.
I think they just drive.
Yeah, they don't die.
I mean, nothing happens. They drive and they don't get out of the mist at any point. They just keep driving.
Okay, because Mark uses that movie when we had this like conversation about if you're in the zombie apocalypse, what would you do? And maybe this will be a fun question for you. And I said, I would just shoot myself. I don't want to live in a zombie apocalypse. And he goes, you need to watch this movie. And well, for those that watch the movie, you know, at the end, they end up killing everyone except the one person in the car. And then, of course, they get saved right after that.
That would be my luck.
Dang it.
It was a much better ending than the book.
Very impactful. You know? Very impactful.
Yeah, it was impactful. Well, and also it was an ending. Like the book didn't really have one, so it just kind of leaves you hanging. So if you're one of those people that's like, wow, like that's deep because you know there's just no end to it, and you can get all philosophical on it, that's fine. But if you're like most people who are like, wait, we get no closure, what the hell?
That's every Stephen King book, though. Stephen King can't write an ending to save his life.
But everything in between is fine.
All this,
Dan,
all the
though.
world building, all the characters, great. Then he gets to the end and nothing every time.
Stand is still
So-
my favorite book of his.
Brahmabull, what would you do in a zombie apocalypse? It happened right now.
If it happened right now, we're loading up everybody in the car and going down to Comics' ranch because I know he's got the guns and ammo.
I'm so jealous. That's too far for me, unfortunately.
No, it'd be a good
We'll meet you there.
13, 14-hour drive. But yeah, I mean, that would be the practical thing to do. In reality, probably we're just getting eaten.
Honestly,
I
I don't know. You guys might have at least the practice with the shooting and hunting. It sounds like comics at least is a super crazy
prepper.
Yes, thank you for the word prepper. That if you were able to be part of that, you probably will be fine.
I mean,
The
we've
problem
got-
is just getting there. Getting there is going to be a problem, and then once you are there, it's holding the fort. Because once people figure out that you have resources,
Yeah.
you got to be able to
Oh.
defend yourself until the last bullet. Because
and that's where we switch into Alex Jones mode and just be
I'll
like,
eat
I will
your
eat your
rule."
leftist ass.
Yeah. Bye, Nick. Thank you for coming
Bye,
by.
Later, Nick.
good luck with your bowl's milk.
Wait, a Tuesday bachelor party?
He does Toxic Tuesday on Tuesday nights where they watch movies.
Oh, okay. I didn't read the first part. I remember
Yeah,
Toxic
Bachelor.
Tuesday, but like
Wait,
bachelor party?
The
like, you
movie
watch
Bachelor Party.
Oh,
They go through it like
Oh.
they do it kind of like an EFAP, but not really an EFAP. They have
not as EFAP-y
slides
as
and
EFAP.
just talk about the
Oh, okay.
movie while the slides are playing.
Gosh,
It's a fun show.
I enjoyed being there for the Rambo. It was a reason to watch Rambo and love that movie. But yeah. So have you taught, I'm assuming you guys know how to use a gun.
Yes.
We'll just leave generic here. Do your kids know how to?
The oldest does because she goes to the range all the time with her boyfriend because
Atta girl.
he's military. So he's got access to the range a lot easier. The youngest, no, and I don't know that I would trust her with a gun yet.
It's so interesting because you see videos of like 6-year-olds that know and respect how to use a gun. And then we
Yeah.
have teenagers and like adults like myself that are like, oh my God, I don't want to touch it.
Well,
We can
I mean,
buy
I
it
wouldn't-
when we want.
Oh, sorry, Tugs, go ahead.
Tugs? Oh, okay.
I
Go
don't-
ahead, Brahmabull.
I mean, I would be fine with putting her in like a course for it. I would
Okay.
not be fine teaching her myself because I didn't start buying guns until the Obama administration.
Whoa. Okay.
Then ammo has been so expensive that I don't have a lot of ammo to waste on the range, and you need to be training constantly to really be proficient and to know all the rules and everything. So, I mean, I've got it for self-defense at the home. I don't carry right now because I don't think I'm trained enough to be carrying. I mean, I think guns are a big responsibility. So
They
I mean,
are.
I have them hidden in my house. The kids don't know where they are. The wife does, but she can't pull the slide back on the gun, so it's kind of useless for her. So I mean, if I got to the point where I was able to get out to the range, maybe take another safety class, do a few more classes, then yeah, I'd be comfortable, teaching the wife and daughter, a little bit more. But yeah, at this point, it's pretty much, I just believe in having a gun for self-defense and defense of the home, not necessarily to be carrying around. If you're trained, by all means, carry. I know that most of the guys on Comics Division shows, they do carry, and they are also well trained, and they take the courses and they go out and hit the range often enough that their skills are there. So.
Mm-hmm. F's in the chat for Tugs. I think her internet died, so
Seemed like
she'll
it.
be back eventually. So what prompted you to get guns in general then? You said when the Obamas came in, so there must have been some sort of legislation or
Well,
maybe feeling. I don't know.
yeah, every time the Dems are in charge here, they try to make a move on guns. Obama was trying to make a move on ARs specifically. So I figured,
Like
okay,
Trudeau.
time to go get an AR before you can't. So I got an AR and I got a handgun, and I've had them ever since. But I mean, Democrats sell more guns than any other politicians in the world, because every time they try to make a move on guns, there is a mass movement to go buy guns or more ammo. More guns are sold during Democrat, Democrat ruling than under the Republicans.
Interesting. I had no idea, because in Canada, obviously ARs, AR-15s are not allowed. Those are banned entirely. As someone who is married to someone who used to be able to use their AR-15s, it's a very sad day for him. Same thing with handguns. We can't exchange handguns anymore, and I'm like, I want a handgun. I have shotguns now, and I'm like, oh, wouldn't it be nice to have one? Can't do it.
Kind of like
maybe
that power in your hands, right?
No, I actually was very scared. I didn't like loading the guns. Depending on the gun too.
I think being scared of guns is healthy.
No, it is, and obviously I respect it. And I think going into the medical side of things, in the area I used to work, there were tons of gunshot wounds, and just like thinking, this kid was just walking by, had nothing to do with the issue, and gets shot.
Right.
Like, that's not cool. So, get better at shooting whatever your target is, so that other people aren't, getting hit, or just don't shoot guns at all. Is it really that necessary? I don't know.
Well, when it's typically criminals that are using the guns, they're not the ones that are getting trained on the safety of guns. They're the ones that are going out willy-nilly doing whatever the hell they want with the guns.
Those are the problems. And I think that at least you recognize that the responsibility as a gun owner, and seeing your kids, you're like, okay, I'm sure you're actually probably really proud of the older one being with having the gun knowledge. Because I mean, it was weird that my mom was like, I'm happy you know how to use a gun. I'm like, what?
It is a skill.
It is a skill
that you have to attain if you're going to carry.
And same thing with even knowing your the younger daughter that might not be able to handle it, at least now. Maybe drive first. We'll get there eventually.
The two daughters are completely different from each other. So the older one was very athletic, very outgoing. The younger one is, just bird thin. I mean, there's nothing to her. So not real athletic, and is very kind of antisocial. She does a lot of knitting and hanging out. I mean, she watches a crap ton of YouTube, but not anything cool like what we do. The other side of YouTube, the uncool side of YouTube that they call cool. So, I mean, it's kind of knowing their personalities and what they'd be okay with and not okay with. She'd probably freak out. I mean, she's the one that if her older sister got yelled at, she's the one who got upset and went to her room and would cry herself to sleep because you were yelling at her older sister. So she's just way too sensitive to handle certain things.
Oh my goodness.
And she's getting better now that she's gotten into high school. I mean, she's making more friends now. We put her in a different school. She was at a charter school that she would have been in from kindergarten all the way up through senior year. She wanted to try something else, so we let her this year because, I mean, antisocial is a thing, but at the same time, sometimes a change of scenery can help make friends. So we figured, even though we didn't really want her in public school, I would rather her develop some of those social skills. And if a change of venue helped, then good.
Sometimes that's all people need, because a lot of times going to high school, if it's, a separate school from your middle or junior or whatever you call it in the States, you have 2 to 5 schools coming in together into the one school. So everyone's meeting new people.
Yeah.
And sounds like it was a good change of scene for her.
Yeah.
And
she's got a few good friends now that, I mean, she never did sleepovers or hung out with anybody after school before, and now she is. So I think it was
Aw.
probably the right call. Don't know that I like some of the things that she's learning at the public school, but
Like what?
well, she's learning a lot about life is one thing. She's learning. I mean, because at the public school, at the charter school, there was no fighting in the halls. There was no kids throwing down on each other. At the public
Oh,
school,
that
it definitely is. Her teachers absolutely love her because she went to a charter school from first through eighth grade. She actually listens when they say that you have homework, while none of the other students seem to. I mean, she went from being like a 3.1 GPA to straight A's because she's about the only person in her classes that actually pays attention to anything. And the teachers have told
Wow.
us this. They're like, yeah, we love her because she actually acts like she's there to be a student. Now, the question is, this is freshman year, will she keep that up for the remainder of high school, or will she fall into the habits of the other kids of, I don't really have to listen. They're going to pass me either way. So we're trying to keep on top of her on keeping the grades
Mhm.
up and all that stuff. So
Very interesting. So when you say charter school, because I'm not very familiar with that term, what does that mean?
it is a public school, so it's publicly funded partially, and then it's kind of privately run. So they're called charter schools because you have a like a petition or a charter to have it set aside, and it is in a public school district. It is partially
Mhm.
funded through public and private, and they have their own board of directors outside of the actual school
Mhm.
district. So they have more autonomy than the public schools do.
Okay, okay, okay.
So it's like going to a private school without the cost of a full private school.
I didn't even know that was an option. Okay. I
Yeah.
wonder if Canada has something like that.
So on our when on our first daughter, we had decided that we wanted them to go there because I went to a private Christian school growing up here in the same town, but the tuition there now is like $6,000 a semester. So that's $12,000 a year. That's basically college. I wasn't able to do that at 21.
Oh my
So we looked
God.
into the charter school, and we actually got my first daughter onto the wait list. I think a week before she was born, because we had already picked the name and everything. So we had got her on the wait list that early because we didn't live in the district that the charter school was. But that charter school was made by a whole bunch of split offs from the private Christian school that I went to. So I kind of
Mhm.
knew what the founding principles were of the school. So it
Mhm.
was like, yeah, we'll get them in there. But yeah, we had to wait until the year that she was in kindergarten to get off the wait list and actually get in. It was
Wow.
very close, and that's like what, 6 years that she was on the wait list.
That is insane.
So yeah, but if you're in district, you get first option there. If you're out of district, then it's if they don't fill up the class. But once
And
you're
you're
in, you're in. And
in
so
for
is her
life.
sister automatically because any siblings
Oh,
automatically
legacy.
got in. Yeah. So it was so the oldest, she went all 13 years at the same school. So she went all the way through it. The youngest, we let her swap out just after middle school going into high school. So we'll see
Mhm.
how that turns out because we've got two that did it differently, and we'll see if they're completely different people, but we'll see if there's any negative repercussions from that decision at some point. But
I think
I mean, as a parent, you just kind of there is no manual for being a parent.
no,
I
and
mean,
every kid is different and every situation's different. And even the two kids probably pretty close in genetics, and look how different they came out already.
yeah,
Personality, probably looks as well, and just all these little things. Say it happens with every family, even in twins. I always find those twin studies very interesting. The ones born together and the ones born apart.
yeah,
When you get twins born apart, and you're like, how
the
would they have
fraternal.
the same? Well, no, the identical ones where
Oh,
they have the same tendencies and likes
yeah,
and stuff like that, and you're just like, "How would that happen?" Obviously, there's a little bit of genetics, and then there is that little bit of nurture that does change a couple things, for them, which
yeah.
is
Looking at the nature versus nurture
mhm,
talk a little bit. Yeah,
absolutely, and each person's different, and that's something you have to kind of accept and adapt to, because there's no way to do it except you have to do it. They're your kids. You're not going to get rid of them. But yes. Okay. So we have a couple super chats here. By the way, I have gotten confirmation that Tugs' internet is officially dead. So she likely is not coming back. Thank you, Tugs, for being here. It sucks that you had to go, but hopefully it is fixed by tomorrow.
Good to see you, Tugs.
Yeah, she's like, I tried 2 different routers. Guess that explains the message not sending earlier. Maybe. And maybe that's why the video quality wasn't with us today, at least. So, boo. Jonathan Stevie for $5 says, just got home from my 80-plus-year-old grandparents' house, showing love. Thank you, Jonathan. I hope you had a fun time at the grandparents'. I love when you get the very sassy older generation, like the 80 plus. Oh, they're the best. I love when they're grumpy too, and they know they're being funny, and you just laugh and they get grumpier.
I think we're two different generations. You're millennial and I'm Gen X, but I'm right on the verge. And I think our generations, at least my generation, our dream is just to get to the old age where we can sit there and, wear
yell at people from
calf-length socks and yell at people. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
just
Mark's
not
kind of already there
anymore.
With the calf-length socks. He's just missing the robe and sitting on the porch yelling at people, but he'll get there eventually. We were having some he's almost too nice. I can't imagine him yelling at people.
Yeah. I mean, the few times I've hung out with him, even though he didn't really have any idea who I was, he was perfectly fine just having a conversation. So.
Oh, no. Mark, I call him a little social butterfly. He just likes to run around and chat, even though he's an introvert. Don't know where he gets it from.
Well, he's also, at the meetups,
where
we bonded was in the smoking area. So.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
God.
Smoking's bad for you, but it's great for social.
Oh my God. It is actually one of the most social hobbies, I guess you can call it. And you can make so many friends with smoking. Oh, borrow a light. And then get to a conversation. And here's a smoke too. Thank you for the lighter. And you can get a conversation going. And I always give him the, we're on vacation. You're allowed to vacation smoke. That's fine. I understand. This is,
did I get
drink.
Mark in trouble?
Oh no, he's allowed to smoke. He's allowed to smoke.
Okay.
I drink and he smokes, and then
and I do both.
There we go. A little bit of everything.
I've got my vices.
I do miss sometimes having a glass of wine, but at the same time, I also like waking up without a headache. So
yeah. That's good.
Jason Webster with the 5 Australian says, I am on holiday this week. Oh, congratulations. So I'm working out while watching this episode of Poor Choices. What are you working out on? I tried working out shoulders today and I couldn't. I got too tired. I'm still sick. That's why.
Yeah.
So, well.
You sound a lot better than you did Friday.
Oh my God. Friday I had the peaking in the voice when you get to higher tones. I hate being that sick and tired. I basically spent the last week sleeping. It was great. That part was great. Nick, the Greek member for 3 months. I'm not going to understand what any of this means, by the way. 357 mag revolver is good for ammo because use 38 special. Did you understand that?
Yeah, 357 Magnum revolver is a type of gun, and he's saying that the ammo is prevalent and cheap, I'm assuming.
Oh, okay.
So it's a good one to train on or have because you can keep stocked up.
Yeah, I found the best gun for me to shoot in general without the sight and just whatever's naturally on there was just oh God. I can see it in my head. I just don't remember the name. There's a handgun though. This is a hefty one. I like the heavier ones. The lighter ones have too much recoil. The heavy ones help, stay steady. So, yeah.
Have you gotten to fire an AR yet?
It's illegal here, so no.
Oh, I thought you just couldn't have them. I thought maybe the ranges at least had some that you could try firing.
I'm wondering, like, I don't know the legalities of that part, because I know Mark, if he wanted to probably train on an AR at the base, maybe they would allow him, because that's technically, the Army always has them. Maybe that's why it's all banned. But if I come to the States, maybe I should shoot an AR.
Vegas has a great gun range. You definitely should.
If we
should
have
all
time,
just take an outing to the range while we're in Vegas.
Maybe. But poor Gary would have to just watch.
Yeah.
Because he's not allowed to shoot anything. One bad thing
Poor
about
Gary. Even in Texas, he's still oppressed.
Yep. Tugs is down for it. Look. I'm glad you're still here, Tugs. It's called Range 702.
Yeah. It's a huge range.
I've been to very small ranges, just kind of in the outskirts of our town area, and I do want to go to something more than just what I've seen, a little room.
Like an actual commercial range like this one. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, from the sounds of it, it's already bigger. Let's see, range 702 from the pictures. Oh my God, it's huge!
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they let you try out, you pay, but you can try out a ton of different guns.
I don't like
the right place.
I don't like the sniper stuff too, by the way. It hurts when you shoot it. I just remember it sitting on the shoulder, and the recoil from that was like my muscle.
Was it just a rifle? Or
probably was, I don't know. I don't remember these things.
See, that's the funny thing about everything going on with the AR. The AR is just a rifle that is black and looks angry, but it really is just a hunting rifle. And that's what's so funny about everybody calling it an assault weapon. It's no different than anything else you would hunt with as a rifle. It's the same ammo.
Crazy part to me. Well, we ended up giving all our ammo to my brother because he had a gun that could use it for the AR-15. Yeah. So, and well, as you know, ammo is very expensive, so it was a really nice gift for him. Oh my gosh. And we have one more super chat here. Jonathan Stevie with the $5 to answer your question. Yes, I had a great time. Helped them around the house, exchanged Christmas gifts, and no sassy as my grandparents are ministers. Oh, okay.
That doesn't mean they can't be sassy.
That is probably true. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Jonathan, for the super chat. I'm glad you had fun at your grandparents'. All right. So, is there any advice that you have as a dad, dating, anything like that you would kind of want to impart into the group, just based on anything, your knowledge, just some good old advice?
Well, I kind of said the main one earlier. Don't sleep with somebody that you're not willing to have a kid with. That would be a big piece of advice. But I mean, I wasn't ever really in the dating world, and I would absolutely not want to be in the dating world right now. So, I mean, it's very hard to talk about it. I mean, yes, I've watched plenty of the Manosphere stuff here on YouTube and the Red Pill stuff, and some of it is good. A lot of it is also not so good. I mean, for guys, being a man whore is no better than being a hoe. So, I mean, I don't agree with some of those takes that men should just do whatever they want. I think, I mean, for me, the biblical way of doing things is probably the best. I mean, and that is a good impetus for marriage and for procreation, which are, the procreation numbers are down right now. We need to be having babies. And if people were less likely to be sleeping around as much, and sex was reserved for marriage, is an impetus for marriage, and it is, that's what the use of it is to procreate. I mean, yes, for pleasure as well, but I mean, I think you know what I'm saying, but I'm kind of meandering.
Yeah. No, it's all good. As I've always said, acute pleasure doesn't always bring you long-term happiness. So sometimes holding out for things, like working out, it's not going to feel good right away, but you're going to be happy with those results. It's the same thing with your body and sexual pleasure. So sometimes it is good to wait.
Yep.
As much as you don't want to.
Yeah. I think I fall along the lines quite a bit with what's his name, Brian from whatever cast, on a lot of the stuff. But not on quite a few of the other things. I mean, he doesn't seem to have a problem with the male side of it. He has a problem with the female side of it, and having a high body count, that kind of stuff. I don't believe that anybody really needs a high body count. I mean, if you look throughout history, I mean, people were able to make successful marriages and families out of arranged marriages. I mean, there are situations where you can learn to love somebody else. I mean, part of it is spending the time. Part of it is putting in the work. I mean, marriage is not an easy thing all the time. I mean, there are things that you have to work together on. And the way modern society looks at marriage, it's like, yeah, I've got my starter marriage and then my second marriage, and by the third one, I'll probably have it right. And it's that way of looking at marriage that is kind of an issue, because it should be something, if at all possible, for life. I mean, you're supposed to develop that bond, and if you don't look at marriage that way, then it is far easier to just throw it away when the first problems arise, rather than working through things. So I guess that would be a little bit of advice.
That was a lot of advice. That was good advice, though. So I think that you're right on a lot of things. People give up too early, or don't find good means of communication through problems, and we get a high divorce rate. And so, you can have fun with almost anyone, but can you live with someone for a long time?
Well, some of it takes willpower and self-control.
Absolutely. So thank you so much for being here, Brahmabull. This was a very fun conversation. And I actually am glad I got to know you a bit more on the more personal aspect. So if you want to know more, you can always ask me, by the way. I know this is mostly a you topic. Chat, thank you so much for the super chats. Brahmabull, where can people find you?
Well, I've got a YouTube and Rumble channel. Tonight I'll be doing Party Animals in about 3 hours from now, with a whole bunch of other YouTubers and a few people from chat. So we do that every Tuesday night. That's been fun. And then primarily I'm on Comics Division's channel. So Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays I'm over there as one of his permanent panelists. Let's see, what else do we have? I'm every night on something. So tomorrow night we've got the Christian panel with that's on Carrie Smith's channel. So that's me, Michelle from Force of Light, and Odin and Carrie Smith, and we talk about things from the Christian perspective. And Saturday nights on my channel I do Bourbon and Boarding, where me and that 70s rock fan talk about the weekend hockey and have some bourbon. So
Bourbon and Boarding, because I was thinking boarding like comics,
like
but
BBC. No,
I love it.
Boarding like the penalty in hockey. So
awesome sauce. You guys should check him out. Sub to comics, sub to his channel as well. I think I've linked it in the description, so you can find that down there. And we will see you guys next tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern, for Sip and Chill. And again, thank you, Brahmabull, for being here.
It was fun. I just wish Tugs could have.
I know her poor internet. Tugs, we love you out there, and we miss you, and Rocky as well, because Mark always includes Rocky. Bye, everyone.
Cheers.